There's the room fill up. Be sure to hit that like button, share this content. Let me get a mic check. 1, 2, 3. Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is straight this time. Put a 1 in the chat if the audio is straight this time. Let's get it. As they say, Mama said there will be days just like this.
Read it, run from it, destiny arrives all the same. And now it's here. What should I say? I am.
Yep. There's the room fill up. Be sure to hit that like button, share this content, let that friend, that neighbor know where to go when it's time.
What more do you want? Be
Yo. Can't rush perfection. Come on with it. Hey, that's life. Part 2, baby. Come on. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Appreciate you, everybody. Appreciate you. All right, so as we get this busy day going, I know. I'm at Studio Law Nation C, so appreciate y'all. I know y'all can see me. So we had a little minor technical difficulties. That's life, right? You got to make sure you're on the right page, and 9 times out of 10, that's how that goes. Building the plane while we fly is the alibi, though. You got to continue to do those things as well. But starting first from the jump, Vikings release Nashawn Wright. Who's spinning the block on Nashawn Wright, number 25? I know for sure that the Cowboys traded him for Andrew Booth. Now, I think that Booth did a terrible job in the Cowboys silver and blue, and then they ended up giving, and I think they gave Andrew Booth the same number. It was crazy. I was like, man, whoever wearing 25, they ain't representing that one live. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody. Laughing out loud, Nashawn. Hey, we can still go grab my guy, Stephon Gilmore. He's still available, right? Let's go grab him. Let's go scoop and grab him. Yeah, that could be a thing. Booth and Nashawn, both booty. God, dog, boy. Hey, jeez.
Damn, Dak Prescott.
Yeah. Law, I hope we get Jack Jones. That is a thing, right? But before we go into any further details of this situation for the nation, this is what we got. According to Clarence Hill, Agent Zero is back. He didn't mention who it is, but anyone that follows this team knows who it is. The jerseys are about to sell all the way out. Now, I get a few people say, hey, man, what's the big deal with numbers? I get it. And I understand that when people look at numbers, they may say, man, just play the game. But sometimes, confidence is everything. And as a defensive player, one of the things that you really want to embody is confidence, especially out there on the field, whether it's hook the sideline, shooting through a gap, being there, be where your feet at, of course. But you got to make sure that as a linebacker, you're slow until you know. All of those principles are still there in the mix. And Cowboy Nation, let's be real. Agent Zero is a thing that we can all say, all right, cool. Yeah. Oh, the Bears already signed Nashawn Wright. They're smart. Jay Full, appreciate you. So let's not spin the block on Nashawn Wright. That means that he's a good player. All right, what's good with y'all? What's really, if it's really real, what's up, brother from another mother? John, appreciate you. All right. So with that being said, the Dallas Cowboys, there's not a lot of news around these sides of conversations outside of Dakota Prescott. And some people can put in the chat, Ozempic Dak. But he done lost about 25 to 30 pounds, and I think it's more on the 20 to 25 side. And my guy, Jake Ferguson, he stated this right here, the Slim Reaper for Dak down 50 pounds. That's what he put down in the comment box there. Now I've seen him, got a chance to interact with him. He's down some weight, but not 50. And what this weight can do by him losing these few pounds right here, well, him losing these few pounds, flexibility, it was always strange to me how frail and thin Tom Brady looked. Not saying that Dak is Tom Brady, by the way, because I get what y'all about to say. Oh, okay, all right, but not to say that. But what I can say is that if you are of the ability to be more slimmer, believe it or not, those soft tissue issues have more of a resistance, right? And on top of that, you're more mobile, and then you have a little bit more flexibility. Things can stay intact when they are not stern like a big chunk of muscle. That's where you have some of your issues at far as football injuries. So if you lose a little weight and give yourself a little elasticity, if we can say it that way, that helps you out down the stretch, So that's what I'm getting at. So that's just what it is. That's just what it is, right? Come on with it, Cowboy Nation. Appreciate y'all. So with that being said, Cowboy Nation, what should we do heading into this draft? We got less than 3 weeks now, and the Cowboys it appears to be still working on my guy contract, Micah Parsons. There was some little details of news by Adam Schefter about this, and he said this right here. Let me play this audio right quick.
Micah and Jerry were having conversations, and it certainly sounded like they were getting closer to a deal, but the agent wasn't involved, and now the agent's going to be involved, as an agent is on these deals of that magnitude. So
there you go. Let me repeat it for those who just not tuning in. I'm seeing an influx of people just not tuning in. Let me play this again.
Micah and Jerry were having conversations, and it certainly sounded like they were getting closer to a deal, but the agent wasn't involved, and now the agent's going to be involved, as an agent is on these deals of that magnitude. So that deal may get done sooner than Dak's or CD's, and we'll see how it all works out. Him and Jerry.
So that was last year, right? That was something that they were thinking about. And now that you see how these deals takes forever, and I'm not beating up the Cowboys, ladies and gentlemen, what we need to do is sit back, enjoy this moment, understand that the draft is right around the corner. The speculation for the nation will still be there because it's like Roland. He says, trade Micah. So I'm quite sure the framework of the contract, from what we were told, is already done. Now they are fighting the nuances of it. Speaking of that, the things that you are saying right now, the trade clause, the no trade clause that's on the contract that they probably be working out, the guaranteed coins, that's what they're working out. So the framework is there, but they just got the few more things that they got to move around in order for this particular contract to be solidified. I think that's what's going to go down, and we got a few weeks before the draft day is here. And then, of course, the predictions of what I did this morning from this article stating that the Cowboys are considering moving up in this draft, and I don't want them to do that. I like Genty, but I don't like the ideology to trade up for a player, especially a running back. They had the Cowboys swapping or trading up with the Raiders to go grab an Ashton Genty, and I'm sitting here like, nah. Like I said, I like Genty. I like what he brings to the table, but it's just not worth the Cowboys losing out on some of the draft picks, because we need multiple draft picks in the top 100. if we still got these holes here. We got the unknowns of the Josh Butler on how he's performing and how he's going to endure contact situations, right? We got the unknown of Izzy. Can he stay a full 17-week schedule? Will he be able to operate with that? On top of that, Bland is in a contract year. That's neither here nor there. Sometimes players play high in their contract year. Sometimes they play like, hey, what is that? And then you got Trayvon Diggs. Although he's working out with Dr. Reeds and everything, and they are really getting them going into the right directions. But we can see with our natural eyes that contact is something that he's going to have to endure, right? So those are things that we have to consider. I will consider trading back, though. Edgar states that Genty is the next Barkley. Yeah, you can argue, but he haven't done it yet on a professional level, right? And what Barkley did last year was remarkable. Due to the simple strength, you got to understand, too, they had two studs at wide receivers on the outside. They have a crazy, I'm talking about this, crazy offensive line that's good for them, right? So you have to add all of those things into the mix, right? Dan states that would you do 76 and 204 for Brees Hall? No, no. We got our Brees Hall at the house. I need the next Emmett. This is from Nathan Davies. My God, what's good with you, man? And I heard that it was your birthday. Happy birthday to you, bro. Appreciate you, man, for all that you do for Cowboys Nation. So it's just for what it is. The draft, we got 10 draft picks. I don't want all 10 draft picks, by the way. I would want for the Cowboys to not trade up, but to trade some of these picks on the back end to get up to the top 100, right? So that's just for what I'm looking at. That turf isn't good for Travion. I feel you, fam. And you're talking about the Diggs brothers, right? You ain't talking about Henderson, okay? All right. Something else that I wanted to showcase you guys. Appreciate everybody for jumping in. The Dallas Cowboys. Here we go, right here. Okay. They are bringing in edge rusher James Pierce Jr. Now, when I was listening to Shotty, and we're going to talk a little bit later on tonight about this, when I was listening to Shotty on some of the things that he was talking about for this team in order to get from here to there, he was looking at also edge rushers. I'm sitting here thinking we got enough of them, do we? We got enough of edge rushers, do we? But if the best player available, BPA, is available, and his name is James Pierce, or if we do something of that nature to trade back for him, then that could be a situation. Calvin Richards, appreciate you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, come on in, y'all. Fill this room up. He states, get rid of number 13. It's bad luck for the Cowboys players. I mean, the last time we check and the last time we look at 13, we can say, man, it's hard for 13 to finish a healthy season. It's hard. Whether it's Gallup. I mean, Gallup was good until, he started twisting up his legs, right? And we'll see what Gallup looked like over there at Washington. And y'all let me know what number Gallup wearing over there at Washington. Lucky Whitehead was unlucky, right? The whole situation with the other situation with the running back. I'm not going to say, what all transpired there. But that was a crazy thing. And now that you look at 13 from a perspective of Overshawn, every year something has been going on. Bleeding Blue, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for your support. Appreciate you for that super chat. The Dallas Cowboys, when we look at just the numbers in general, and I get it. Let Overshawn get that 0. That would be nice because I'm thinking about 11-0. And then I'm thinking about Kenneth Murray. I think he's wearing number 59. I'm looking at all of these guys that's going to be a new addition to this team and how they're going to fit in on defense. I'm excited by the defense, by the way. I'm excited by the way that this defense is going to command on stopping the run. I'm just excited by those small little things that can help us going in the right direction. Jay Business says, Queen, we need Jack Jones. Oh, we need Jack Jones. Only thing that worries me a little bit about Jack, off-field stuff, right? The mind, that's where it's at with him. And it's hard. It's hard to be not in the spotlight in Dallas. And Dallas is one of those things that when you look at it, you say to yourself, all right. But then you say to yourself, you can't even pluck your nose in Dallas without someone saying this and that. So it is for what it is. Law and Vach live at the same damn time. What? I didn't know he was live around this time, but shout out to my guy Vach Lombardi, the infamous Vach Lombardi. Shout out to him. Put a 1 in the chat if we need a round table real quickly. Put a 1 in the chat. We need to rebirth the round table just before the draft. Give them a little sauce before the draft. Let me know and ask him. Go to his page and ask him. Is he ready to have a round table one more time? My girl Sadiq, appreciate you so much. He says we need Butler to return. He is on the team already. Ready. I'm glad he is coming along with his rehab. Yeah. I think that with Josh Butler, he had showed us so much promise last season, right? And right before we was about to anoint him and crown him just a little bit because he came off a game with 10 tackles, solo tackles, by the way, which we haven't seen or are accustomed to seeing DBs outside of the run blend coming down and filling, right? And that, we like that approach, and I think that he's going to get things going. Look at all of those wands, right? Yeah, remember TMZ? Zeke used to follow Zeke around. Yeah. Shout out to y'all. Wait. But since we got about 280 folks in here, put down where y'all are from. And also, we're going to take this quick.
There are times in life you wish you had a do-over. A chance to warp back in time to change your fate. Back to before you made the wrong choice. If you're in a wreck, make the smart choice right away. Frenkel and Frenkel. Chosen by the people, feared by the insurance companies. Call Frenkel first.
Yes, indeed. Y'all be sure to call Frenkel and Frenkel personal injury lawyers, and be sure to reach out to them. That's 214 or 817, and all of the threes you can dial. And if you can't dial those numbers, visit FrenkelFirm.com. They have over 100 years of experiences combined, not just individually. They'll be vampires if that's the case. And we'll be talking about some whole other stuff that they can represent you for. But they are located here in Dallas with the mindset about 9,000 individuals move to Texas a month. And that's in the heart of Dallas, too, by the way, in the city of Dallas. It's a lot of folks. So if you don't know them, reach out to Frenkel and Frenkel personal injury lawyers. All right, so this was intriguing. This talks about, shout out to you, Sam. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the $2 cash app, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm going to get me a rolled taco, a burrito with that. Appreciate you, bro. ESPN insider Adam Schefter, who's becoming a household name, by the way, on talking on these podcasts. He states that the Philadelphia Eagles will make 1 or 2 moves on draft weekend. Let that sink in. The Philadelphia Eagles, not to turn this into the Eagles show, right? He's thinking about 1 to 2 moves. That's a lot of moves. And the Cowboys better be singing that song when shoot, when I move, she moves just like that. They need to be moving too, because at the end of the day, if we ain't moving, they moving, then we gonna be still at this spot. And I'm not putting fear talk out there. I'm just bringing the reality of it to the table, right? So even more reason for the Cowboys couldn't afford to do business as usual this offseason. Will the move they make will be enough? Now, let me ask y'all this before I play this audio. Did we make enough moves, Cowboy Nation? Are we? Is it enough for right now for us to say, okay, we got a little bit? Because this is my game plan, by the way. I said all I want the Cowboys to do is to be sure to make a little move here before the draft, and they did just that. They moved a little bit before the draft, but I'm a little bit of the mindset of being greedy, right? What would be your one move that the Cowboys can make to make you feel like, oh, okay, we competing? Because this team coming off of the Super Bowl, they still making moves, right? Gut Bummer says, no, the Cowboys didn't make enough moves. Because I said all I wanted was a little bit something on the stomach, right? And I think we got to be more specific in our mentionings. I remember, I'm old enough to remember, I said, man, Dak Prescott will be in the Super Bowl and he will lift up that trophy. And he did exactly that. He went to the Super Bowl and lifted up that trophy. I wasn't specific enough, man. I should have said he will lift up that Lombardi trophy and we will win the Super Bowl, Vikings will be unbeatable if they sign Aaron Rodgers. Come on, Roland. Why you switch the subject like that? I thought the Jets would be undefeated or unbeatable if they were to get Aaron Rodgers. Man, Aaron Rodgers done. Yeah, Tyreek Hill, but it's not happening. I feel you, Cowboy Rob. Yeah, need a running back, wide receiver, not enough. Give me Keenan. Now, these are moves just for namesake, right? You just feel a little bit better, or Keenan can really flip everything around for us, right? I just don't want us to go get a 32, 33-year-old wide receiver, and then they go into this draft and say, you know what, we good at wide out. No, I just don't want them to do that now. Not saying that they shouldn't. Not saying that I don't want Keenan Allen, by the way. I really would like to have some extra move, but I don't want to be moving just to be moving. I will groove with this, though, even though I'm rhyming for your mind, but I'm telling y'all this thing right here at this time and at this moment, that the Cowboys still couldn't move. We got about $34 to $38 million in cap space. There is a thing that we can start moving a little bit after the draft, right? Shout out to my Gulf Coast people, man. Grant, I see you, fam. Shout out to Mississippi in the house. Riggs! Where you at, Riggs? Aaron Rodgers haven't been the same since he's been off them psychedelics. Psychedelics, Rodgers, we need him. We need psychedelics, Rodgers, man. That's the only way he can get things going. They give him a little mushroom. Mario Rodgers. That's what we're going to have to start calling him. The whole time when people were playing Mario, the whole time that he was chasing Princess and the Toadstool, he was just trying to get that high, trying to get those mushrooms. But that's a whole nother conversation. Let me see if I can get to this this quick audio. Yeah, here we go. Here we go right here.
Because I will guarantee you right now, we're going to get a trade or two out of the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know for who. I don't know for what. I don't know when it'll happen. But they ain't going to make 20 picks in the next two drafts. That ain't happening, okay? So the question is how they're going to allocate their draft resources, how they're going to move around, who they're going to add, but they will be moving and shaking as they usually do in Philadelphia.
I don't like his takes, man. It's like it will rain one day. I guarantee you. You gonna walk outside and water gonna fall on your head. It will rain one day. You can book it. I can guarantee y'all. One of y'all that's in here will get rain falling upon your head. You can book it. I guarantee you. Before the year is out now. I don't know when, but it's before the year is out. One of y'all gonna step outside and water gonna fall on your head. You gonna have a wet head. I guarantee you. Yes, indeed. That's just how it goes, man, with them type of reports. That's just like Stephen A. Smith, man. You know, you can book it. The Cowboys are an accident waiting to happen. Yeah, you can say that by 30 other teams, too. Yeah. So, with that being said, I do know that the Eagles going to continue to make moves. I do know that they got an axe to grind. They got the most to prove. They're at the bottom of the division, you know. They don't like to hear those words, but they still got stomach muscles on their neck, and they getting close to the Washington team, right? And then on top of that, after they beat Washington, they got to come to the Giants. Then it's us. But even though we on a 30-season sabbatical, that's okay. You know, we just waiting for everyone else to catch up, you know. The Giants right on our heels, but we don't have no issues or worries. Yeah, I forgot to put no Diddy on the wet head. You know, appreciate you, Dak. On filthy. Yes, Davey said, shout out to you, man. Yeah, he makes it entertaining. And he's running for president, you know, but, you know, that's a whole nother conversation there. This kid right here is linked to the Cowboys as a possible situation, right? Now, y'all know how I feel about players in general of Mississippi, right? And I like my Mississippi boys, you know, and he's one of those guys. But I will tell y'all beautiful people that's watching right now, I just don't like the ideology with the 12th pick of the NFL draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Walter Nolan. You know, it's going to be a situation whereas we would say, Mozzie, you know, it takes 2 to 3 years to develop. And that's one of those things that it's a necessary hire that we need. We need big boys down inside. But at what expense? That's why I will tell you guys that in complete order, I would rather for the Cowboys too. And I'm not beating them. Nolan could be him. Himothy and all of them things, you know. And shout out to him. Because it'll be a blessing for me if the Cowboys do draft Walter Nolan, by the way, you know, because of close ties, you know. But I will tell you all this right straight up. I want the Cowboys to, after the draft, if possible, to find that one, and I mean that one, veteran interior defensive tackle outside of Solomon Thomas. There's going to be one of them out there, right? You know, my guy, Bama boy, Davis, appreciate you, Law. Don't forget, we get back $18 million. How we get back $18 million? Where did I? If we sign Parsons? If we sign Parsons, is that what you're saying? You know, let me go over here. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for your super chat, though. You know, yeah.
All I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night.
Appreciate you.
You know, I gave you everything I had. I gave you everything I had.
Okay, we got. All right, hold on. These ads killing me. Hold on. I'm gonna put it right here. Put it over here. Yeah, all right. So we got the Cowboys. And give me a one in the chat if you like the layout at Studio C. And put a 2 in the chat if you don't like the layout in Studio C. And we might can flip it around or something, you know, change it up a little bit, you know. At first I was outside, now I'm inside, you know, the star here. Come on with it. The Cowboys have about $37 million. And if you're saying what you're saying, that we get 18 plus, then that's a good thing. Let me see if we go to this next level here. And okay, 41 if in 2026. Okay. And carry that. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Bama boy. Okay. Appreciate you. I appreciate the honesty too, though. By the way, I appreciate all of that. Thank y'all so much for your support. I be outside there. I go back outside. You know what I'm saying? Boy, y'all better watch out for studio law. Yeah. The Eagles build their team the right way, build through the trenches and foremost. Yeah. I really like Golden. This is from Roland. He says he liked Golden. But Tet is the next level. Okay. Yeah. Most certainly, Daz. But, the only thing is when you're moving, traveling about, you got to be able to be motile. Yeah. So with that being said, Cowboy Nation, here's my 1,000 truths about the whole Walter Nolan thing and the interior guys. It carries over 18 million. That's a lot of money, man. Money shouldn't be a problem then, because at the end of the day, we got $37 million, as you guys can see here. Well, Cowboys got it. I don't have it. Shoot, give me $37 million. What happened to Law, man? What's going on with Law, man? You know where he at?
When you pray for rain, you got to deal with the mud, too.
Yeah. Shoot. You had to deal with all of those things. And then Law up out of here. Gone. He gone, y'all. Shoot. Law got that $37 million. I told y'all he was all for the money. Nah, I'll be still somewhere talking Cowboys, but it'll be at a different location. It'd be like in New Zealand or somewhere, on a boat. Maybe I have my own yacht, something like that. But let me play this, because when y'all was at the Star in Frisco and we got a chance to talk to KP, and I see that he did a sit down with my guy Clarence Hill. Let's recap.
We got Kendall Paul, one of the fastest rising draft prospects, shooting up the draft board up to around a 4.27. He opened survived. Starting the Cowboy scout, Chris Hall was there, and his eyes were bucked. He made him run again and did the same. Then the resetting. No one at the NFL scouting combine ran faster than 4.27. So he has the fastest recorded time going into the draft of any prospect. And he did that at his pro day at East Texas A&M. What was that like?
So it was just, that whole experience just amazing. So just having a Cowboy jersey on was like amazing to know. Just in front of my family with a Cowboy jersey on, it just put a smile to my face and put a smile to theirs. So the whole experience is doing the drills. I thought I did very good on the drills, being very smooth. Cause that was just the main thing I wanted to work on, on my game. So I always knew I was fast. So if I add technique to my speed, that's gonna be a killer right there. So I think my drills went smooth. My dad always told me, from the gym, he said, you're not gonna be the biggest, you're not gonna be the biggest out there. So you gotta have something to offset that. So use your speed and your aggressiveness. So, and he always came with this quote, said, it's not about the size of the dog in the fight, it's about the size of the fight in the dog.
Yeah.
No doubt, man. And I told Kendall that I'm faster than him too, by the way. He shout out to Paul. And it's about that fight in that dog, But you got to have that dog in you too. So you got to have all of that great stuff, Cowboy Nation. And speaking of him in general, this is us out here at the Star, being able to talk to him and his family and his people right here. As you guys can see, this kid ran a 4.27. This kid came out there and he looked more polished than anyone else out there on the field, and coach was like, yeah, he got burners on him, and he don't run slow, he run fast. He's in and out of his breaks. He jumps and break on the ball, and he got the willingness to tackle. He comes down and field as necessary. So I'm looking at all of those things, and I'm telling you guys that Kendall is a real good player for us and a great find if we do pick him up in the draft, or if he goes undrafted. I think that by running that 4.27, he's going to get drafted by somebody, because they're going to take that flyer at him. I'm not going to say what team then reached out to him, because I don't want to get in ahead of that competitive situation. But there's a team that had a top 5 defense last season, reached out to him and they would love to have that 4.27 speed on their side. And the reason why that 4.27 speed is different, because he ran it twice. Normally, when you run like that, at Pro Day, you know, all of the numbers sometimes just be juiced when you at the house, right? But sometimes they run it again, and all of a sudden, boom, this guy's there. Cowboys Tone says, with all the needs we still have, which one will you be okay with not addressing? With all of the needs we have, Cowboys Tone, boy, you hit me with a hard one there. Which one I would be okay with not addressing? Which one? Here's, all right, I'm going to give you two answers to that. I'll give you two answers to that. Two answers to that. I think that the Cowboys, with all the needs that we have, the one needed area that they may not even address is defensive tackle. The Cowboys' defensive tackle would be the one that they would not address. It's a toss-up. It's a 50-50 toss-up between wide receiver and defensive tackle. Because they like their guys. They like their guys. They matter of fact, they love their guys. They believe ultimately in Mingo. They probably giving us a trail of smoke when they say, yeah, man, we looking for a real explosive wide receiver too. But I would not be surprised if they say, hey, man, we got our wide receiver too really at the crib. His name is Mingo. Ryan Flanoy, you know. Tolbert, you know. Sugar Daddy 1, pause if necessary, says we really don't need a defensive edge guy, right? But defensive edge guy would be a situation and scenario that the Cowboys may still go with due to the fact if they go in true BPA, then they may go with that. But to the other side of what I think that the Cowboys will not address and won't worry about is I think that also it will be in the category of defensive tackle. I just can't go into this draft with the first 3 picks without getting a running back. As heavy and as deep as this draft is with running back, for us to take a gamble in the 5th round and say, you know what, we'll just grab them then, I'll be perturbed. I will be hot. I'll be livid. I'll be angry. I'll be upset. I'll be all of those aggressions. I will be angry to the high heavens if we go into this draft and they say, well, you know, we got Nate Pete, we got Pistol Pete, we got Tanny Deuce, we got, you know, Miles Sanders, not Moreau, nor Garrett, but we got Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams. We got running backs. And I'll be like, no, don't do us like that. Don't do us like that, Cowboy Nation. Get them likes up. Appreciate you. So there'll be one area that I know for sure that to sweeten this pot, go ahead and get that running back and be done with it. Hopefully it will be day one. You know, you get the running back and be done with it. I will say, okay, yeah, we got the running back. Come on. The whole topic line of KP, and let me bring him back up again. We are so razor blade thin. We are so razor blade thin at DB because we can argue that there are 2 spots, 2 of them, that's wide open, and that we don't want to just give that away. We really want to be able to make sure that they compete for the spot. That slot DB and outside DB, outside corner. One can argue that you have a weaker spot there than you do at running back, at wide receiver, at O-line, and at defensive tackle. A defensive tackle who can't penetrate, who can't go through a gap, who can't get home, that's okay. You can plan around that. But a DB who can't get his feet right, who whiffs on tackles, who's in the wrong place, that's 7 points. That's 7 points. That's a tub, or that's a first down the field for 40 yards, 30 yards, 20 yards, 15 yards. If you have terrible DBs that can't cover. Even though we got Kyrie Elam, right? But I think that defensive back is our most malnourished spot, you know. Yeah, it's where it's the worst. Yeah, for real. Like a Somalian on Ozempic, right? You know, like feed the need kids on Ozempic, man. It is showing rib cage in that spot. Come on. And I don't want to see Booth. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Defensive tackle, shout out to you. I am awake. Defensive tackle should be the main focus. Yeah. But, you know, we got at least starters there. You know, we missing 2 areas on the defensive backside, you know. So, with all of that being said, we don't want to see Booth, man. Y'all say run Law Nation out there. At least, man, you know, at least he have the beard coming out of the helmet. Yeah, run him out there, man. At least we be entertained to a degree. Yeah, shoot. That'll be crazy, won't it? Cowboy Nation. For what it's worth and for what it is, it's a situation and scenario that we must consider drafting right, and we must hit right on these draft picks. We must consider those things. Appreciate you on the Facebook app, Lustery. Appreciate you. I hope I said your name right. Use him at wide receiver. JB says the defensive tackle for Maryland, Jordan Phillips, Caldwell, Oregon. Yeah, I do like Caldwell tape. I got a chance to look at his earlier. Yeah, and he's a multiple guy, right? I've seen him line up everywhere on that front 5, right? Everywhere, inside, outside, wide 9, get to the quarterback, shoot up field. He got all of the reasonings to be an explosive, sneaky pick down the stretch. Yeah, I would love to see him in the Cowboys uniform, but not too early though. Not too early. Don't get too rich with it. Yeah. But here's what I got right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's the top of the hour. We will be live again at the stroke of 8 o'clock, and it will be the final word. But since Bama boy Davis sent in one more super chat, let's read this before we depart. You know, appreciate you so much. Lord, don't want no Jack Jones. He's been in trouble multiple times when he tried, but when he held that 9, all that he could see was his mama's eyes, huh? Issues if we're trying to change the culture. Hell, let me see. Hell to the no. I feel you, Bama boy, you know. I mean, that's what I said earlier. I really think that the kid got unbelievable skill sets, but he got a mental problem. But if it's any team that can deal with those nuances, it would be the Dallas Cowboys. Yeah. We the rehab boys. You know, we can rehabilitate anybody, right? We had the guy that threw the girl on the bed of guns, right? Allegedly. And she was full of that booger sugar too, you know. So we are the rehab boys. We'll take them in. We'll bring them in. We brought in Pac-Man Jones and paid him extra to be inside, and he still snuck outside, went to the strip club and fought everybody. Yeah, Pat-Man Jones, shout out to him. I hear that he's still in Dallas sometime. Pat-Man, reach out to me now, dog. I know you watch the show. I seen you watch my show. Need to get him on the show. Holly, appreciate you. A Law Nation for life. Law Nation for life. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Ooh, that make me, boy, that Law Nation for life. Come on with it.
Nobody
Sounds of Soft Souls, hits,
does it better.
and oldies. Come on with it. One other guy, I forgot about this. Ooh, I forgot about this, but I'm glad that you sit there in that chat about the best and everything. And let me see if I'm fixing my house up over here. I always root for the underdog, as you guys know. I'm a sucker for that, right? But Peyton Turner, ESPN News. Turner's working with pass rush specialist Brandon Jordan. All right, so his step and his plan to action and his move, as you guys can see, he's trying to knife inside, using his leg and separating, disengage. I think that with Peyton Turner, he's so raw. He's so lengthy and athletic. The brother's like 6'6", 6'7", right? Can go up there and give Moses a handshake if necessary. I would tell you guys, and Paul and Peter, all of them, hey, dap him up, yeah. The one thing that I can say about this young kid, he got a long way to go. But what the Cowboys should do with him is we're not going to have you working on multiple moves. We're going to have you to be a master of this one move. Rip, we will play half body, shoulder dip, rip, get upfield. That's all we want you to do. Then we'll work on spin cycles down the stretch. You already got a bull rush that's okay with. But we're going to give you a plan of action. Attack outside shoulder, dip that shoulder, get upfield, right? And you are where your feet at. And that's why we want to get that player, that opposition, the offensive tackle, out of that cylinder, and a body in motion stays in motion. That's what all is about. You guys get me what I'm saying? A body in motion stays in motion. And Peyton Turner, as much as he need to work on those small things, if he continue to do that, he'll get things going in the right direction, ladies and gentlemen. I appreciate everybody. I love y'all to the stars and back. But just like anything, in the words of Mike McCarthy, what he would say, just like anything, I want to know what shot he's going to repeat and how he would sound after a W, right, when he's coaching. But just like anything, this must come to an end, Cowboy Nation. And as we depart, one foot in front of the other foot, step by step, we got these bricks and we stacking them together. Brick by brick. We built this. And we ain't folding like wallets nor lawn chairs. No way. No way. Thank those who stayed to the end and not running out of here. We're going to lock them doors. Don't y'all go anywhere. Lock them doors. You got to lock in.
Make it come closer than close. Yeah.
Lock the doors. Lock in. Put DC for life in the chat. Yeah, DC for life. Or LN for life. I guess that's a new one right there. Law Nation for life. Mama said there'll be days just like this. And if you can feel the reverence of my voice from my mouth to your ears of this particular moment in time, that we are all here for this one reason, for the Cowboys to stand tall or not at all this offseason. There will be 10 draft picks in 3 weeks, right? 32 draft picks that opening night. They go to 32 different other teams, right? Or 31 different teams. There should be 32 millionaires. But I come here to tell y'all right now, the eyes may be weary. The voice may be faint. The sight may be even blurry. Yes. You may stumble here and there. But the beat of our heart still beating. Cowboy Nation for life. And we ain't going nowhere. That heartbeat, that rhythm, that motion, that sense of urgency with us is still here. We locked loaded. Ain't that right, Rico? Yes, indeed. So at the end of the day, let's get it, Cowboy Nation. Mama said, say that quote at the end, baby. You know, the one that Les Brown says. Give it to him. I stick to the end of your shows. Yeah, when she was around, I cursed less, right? Like, oh, mama watching. I think somewhere she's still watching right now. But if you want a thing bad enough to go out there and fight for it, to work day and night for it, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all of your desires of it makes you quite mad that you don't get tired, and it makes you hold everything taut in your cheek, if life itself seems empty and useless without it, and all that you scheme and dream is about it, if you will gladly go out there and sweat for it, fret for it, or plan for it, and move all terror of your mind for it, if you would simply, oh just simply, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around this world, go after the thing you want with all of your capacity, strength, sagacity, with faith, hope, and confidence, and stern pertinacity. If neither cold, poverty, or the famish of fame, or the sickness of body or brain can turn you away from the thing you want. If dogged and grim, they besiege and beset with the help of Almighty, Allen, Holly, you got it, Bama Boy, and everyone that's listening, you will get it. Come on with it. Holly. These quality pumps. You come on with it. Quality strokes. Come on with it. For your mind, baby. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best.
Right. I want my flower while I'm living.
Come on with it. Roll those credits for me. I don't have the roll credit button over here yet, but we can run it up. Y'all greedy. We'll be back. At 8 o'clock, Law Nation time. At the stroke of the hour. At 8. Come on with it, baby.
Don't need no deals, I make the deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Kinda check a song. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Come on.
Count that too, count it up. Count it up. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Need them ones, I need them fives. Need them tens, I need that change. To the safe, got blues inside.
Come on.
Greens and pinks, it's all the same. I still say and roll my chains. Take some losses when I play.
Charge it to the game.
I'm with L, yeah, I'm with T-Black, I'm with Reverend now. I'm with Bay,
Who with Law,
I'm with
baby?
Jay, yeah, I'm with Chuck and now.
Yeah.
Still the same, not switching sides, now it's about loyalty. You switch sides off for the bag, and that's worth more to me.
Come on.
I mix Nike with designer, I experiment.
Agent Zero. Let's get it.
Search for the one, but baby girl, it's nothing real as this. Can't trust a soul, I keep a hammer.
Call it too legit.
I've been really in the field, love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make a deal. Have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah. Kinda check a song. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
Come on now.
Count that too. Come on. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah. I just beat off the loan. I never own no chrome. Too many foes and clones. Yeah. I be at home alone. I be in zones alone. I be on road alone. I've been really in the field. Love the rush, I love the feel. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Don't need no deals, I make the deal. I have to take it to a meal. Lately, I just wanna run it up. Yeah.
Come on.
Kinda check a song. Lately, I just wanna run it up.
All I ask is when you're lay your head
Come on with it, baby.
So I give everything. I give everything.
All right. Until next time. DC for life, not for sure, baby. That's all I want to do is run it up. All right. Let's get on. I'm trying to hit that off button. All right, let's get on up out of here. Peace. Yeah. Yeah, be up.